Hi, and welcome to the Startup and Running podcast. This is a special episode today. It is a part of our new bonus series where you get some legal tips just from me to help you with your Aussie small business or as an Aussie entrepreneur. Today's episode is: can someone really steal my idea? Well, to understand what your legal position is in relation to ideas that you have for your business or perhaps for a new product or content, then we need to understand exactly what an idea is. See, under the law in Australia and in other jurisdictions, we're really interested in protecting property. If something is property, it means it can be owned. It means it can be sold to someone else. It means if you own it when you die, you can pass it on to someone in your will. And the unfortunate thing about an idea is that generally it's not property. An idea isn't property until it has been embodied. So, for example, if you have an idea for a book, it's not covered until you embody that idea, perhaps in a pitch document or even in the book itself. If you have an idea for an invention, it isn't usually covered until you've either embodied that invention in an actual prototype or perhaps you have embodied it into a patent. You've set out what the invention is and you've obtained at least a patent application for it. You have to take that extra step for an idea to become an invention. So you might hear people say, "Oh, I've got an idea for an app, for a dog walking app where you can get on and find a local dog walker in your area." That actually sounds like a cool idea and something that would be really useful. But just saying that out loud is not going to be enough to prevent someone else from uh, getting that idea themselves, or even hearing it from you and thinking, oh, actually, that is a good idea. And if they take the next steps of actually creating the app, getting funding to make an app, selling the app, there's not really anything you can do about it. Um, Another thing that people often say is like, oh, I've got this great idea for a product to solve X problem. Just having the idea is not going to be enough. You need to not going to be enough to like stop someone from using that idea and then creating a business out of it. You need to turn your idea into something that you can protect. So, how do you do that? So, like I said, you need to express your idea in a tangible form, and that's legal speak for just something that like physically exists. And it could be physical in the sense that you've written it down on a bit of paper. It could also be digital in the sense that you've written it into a document. But you need to draw it. It might write it down, uh, create a pitch deck, um, build code for something. Once it's in a physical form, whether that be digital or something that you can hold in real life, then it's likely that it will be protectable by copyright. So if someone then comes along and copies it and tries to use that now embodied idea for themselves, then you might have an action against them under copyright law. And in Australia, you don't need to register your copyright. Once you have embodied your idea into a tangible form, then that is enough, assuming you're the author of it, that you can claim copyright over it. In other jurisdictions like the US, you can also register your copyright, but we don't need to go into that here. Um, if your idea is for a new business and like it's a business name and a brand, you might create a trademark for it. You might try to register that trademark in Australia. You might register a business name for it. Now, a business name doesn't give you any rights, but it just reserves that business name for you. The other thing that you might do is, like I said, create a prototype, try and get a patent for it, try and get a design which might protect the way that the product idea that you have looks. So if you have an idea for a physical thing, then you can use something like design registrations in Australia if to protect the way that thing looks, assuming that there isn't something like it that already exists. Now, that's all well and good with things that can be put into an embodied form. But what if you have an idea and you still need to talk to people about the idea in order to perhaps get some funding, talk to a manufacturer about making the thing. What do you do then? So the other way that you can protect your idea is not through intellectual property, but through contract law. So you can enter into something called a non-disclosure agreement. And a non-disclosure agreement, sometimes also called a confidentiality agreement, creates a contractual obligation between you and the person that you're sharing your idea with. And that obligation is that they will not share your idea with anyone else, and they also won't use your idea for their own purposes. So you might use this if you're pitching your idea to potential partners. You might use it if you are going to a manufacturer to get some support in bringing your idea to life. Now, an NDA can apply to individuals, it can apply to an organization and its employees. And as long as the idea, the subject matter, which you say is confidential, which in this case would be your idea, as long as that remains confidential, then you can use an NDA to prevent other people from sharing your idea any further than what you need to in order to bring your idea to life. And then if they break that promise, if they breach that contract, then you can take action against them or try to enforce the obligations in the contract in a court or just through lawyers. But hopefully we don't get to that point. Hopefully it's enough that you're putting them on notice that you consider that this idea is confidential and that they're not allowed to share it anywhere else. Now, if you're interested in learning more about how you can protect your ideas using the law in Australia as a small business owner or as an entrepreneur, I have a membership. It's called the Legally Legit Business Membership. And you can jump into that and you can talk to me and get some advice about what you should do. But it also has a template library. And in that template library, it's a growing library. And one of the documents that's in there already is a non-disclosure agreement template. So you could use that to protect your idea. If you want to find out about the Legally Legit Business Membership, just type mentorship or membership in the comments, or you can send me an email or a DM. I'm more than happy to share all about the membership with you. If you've enjoyed today's legal tip, make sure you give us a like, maybe rate and review us if you're listening to this on a podcast, and let me know what other topics you'd like to hear me talk about. Until next time, may your business always be legal.